Shai, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakar Qudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings be unto the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. All right, this is the brother Yakanan from the GMS England branch. And as you can see here, I have this article taken from the BBC, and it's entitled Reform UK to Accept Bitcoin Donations, says Farage. All right, now Reform UK is a particular political party out here in the UK, and they're known for having a very tough, stance concerning, immigration. All right, they're known for their, tones of racism, so on and so forth. And funny enough, they're gaining, a lot of popularity out here in the UK. All right, and I was even looking at some polls, some approval ratings concerning, the Labour Party and Reform UK, so on and so forth. And they're actually substantially, leading in the popularity side of things, all right, which tells you a lot about the state of the nation, out here in the UK, all right? And you're having all these, false flag attacks, taking place. Some could be genuine, but we know a lot of things are engineered in order for, the wicked elites to push their agenda. Okay, and that's making, tensions rise on a racial level, It's making tensions between, immigrants and so-called, citizens of the land, okay? Even more harsh and, shrouded with more friction, okay? Which again, these are the kind of climates and atmospheres that you can look forward to getting worse, in these last days, because this is all a part of the end of this man's kingdom, okay? It's all a part of the downfall of the kingdom of Esau Edom. It's things becoming more harsh, things becoming more volatile, and, that dog-eat-dog realm, really being breeded, man, all right? Now, and the scriptures also say, when we go to Matthew, the 24th chapter, the scriptures tell us that because iniquity shall abound, the heart of many shall wax cold, all right? So, hey, within the last 3-4 years, that spirit has really been showing, okay, with particular incidents and things that have been happening in society, all right? Now, without further delay, it says Reform UK will accept donations in the form of Bitcoin, Nigel Farage has announced, becoming the first British party to do so, all right? So they are delving into and pushing heavily, cryptocurrency, okay? And the importance of, amalgamating the digital world with the Bank of England, all right? So it says, speaking at a cryptocurrency conference in Las Vegas on Thursday, the party's leader held up a draft of a crypto assets and digital finance bill that he said he would pass if he was elected prime minister. All right, and we're going to get into that in a moment because I actually downloaded the crypto assets and digital finance bill. All right, and I was reading through the PDF. Now it says, let's recognize that crypto, Bitcoin, digital assets are here to stay. He said, telling the audience Reform would launch a crypto revolution in the UK. Okay, so that's their intent. to launch a crypto revolution in the UK. All right, so they're fully pushing the idea of embracing crypto, all right, and weaving it, within the processes further, in the banking industry, okay? Which again, this is nothing new because they've been talking about these things for the last few years, but it just shows you that these political parties, which we all know, both sides are, controlled, all right, by the higher powers that really rule the earth in secrecy, okay? The secret council of the wicked, as spoken of in Psalms, the 64th chapter, okay? But it just shows you, the time that we are in, all right, and how they're pushing these changes in society. Now, let me go to the actual bill that I downloaded, all right? So, this is the Crypto Assets and Digital Finance Bill, all right? Now, let's take a brief read through a few of the paragraphs. Now, it says, today, Reform UK delivers a statement of intent as part of its goal of making the United Kingdom one of the most innovative economies in the world, as Prime Minister Nigel Farage will enact the Crypto Assets and Digital Finance Bill. The bill sets out a bold post-Brexit roadmap to make the United Kingdom the world's premier hub for cryptocurrency and blockchain innovation. Okay, so this whole cryptocurrency and the blockchain, this is not going nowhere. Okay, this is going to become a staple for all operating services, all right, on the earth. The whole grid, all right, wherever you go, all right, very soon is going to be dominated by cryptocurrency and is going to be controlled, by the blockchain. And in very, very, very near future, all right, what's going to be crowned and added upon that is the RFID chip, the MOTB, the Revelation 13 and 16, as we always go into, okay? Now it says, for too long, financial services in the UK have neglected the needs and aspirations of young Britain. 7 million people in the UK hold crypto, including 1 in 4 Brits aged 18 to 34, okay? So this whole crypto, the rise of, people utilizing crypto and having all of the different coins, come out, and, this coin is hitting a certain number and everyone's rushing to buy it. You have, the Dogecoin and all that kind of stuff. That was all by design. That's literally live training for the citizens, all right, to acclimatize to crypto, to learn how to use it, all right, to have how do I word it? To have the the fundamentals of how it works and what it means, all right, in your mind. So when they actually administer the RFID chip, okay, which that's going to be, based on cryptocurrency, because that's how you're going to buy and sell, okay, using the digital money that you have on your chip, okay? So this is all training. But then what do? They masked it as, freedom, independence, privacy, okay, where it's really the opposite. You're really being put into a internet prison, okay, a prison jail, all right, for lack of a better term. There's a particular term they use, but it escapes me at the moment. But that's exactly what you're doing, all right. The more you become acclimatized to using the digital realm, all right, and putting your information on a digital level, the more you become, a internet, slave, all right, an economic slave, because they're able to track you, all right. They're able to, see what you're spending your money on. They're able to quantify everything that you're doing using that grid, which is eventually going to be in the form, again, of that RFID chip, all right. Now, it says, freed from the shackles of the EU regulatory quagmire, The bill leverages the UK's regulatory sovereignty, empowering it to combine competitive taxation, light touch supervision, and institutional adoption, Salakia. Advantage is only possible because the UK now controls its own financial rulebook. The bill is proof that a reformed government will prioritize the privacy and financial sovereignty of all citizens of the United Kingdom. So that's what they're pushing, all right? Financial sovereignty, but it's going to be the opposite, okay? It's going to be literally the opposite. It's not going to be financial sovereignty, all right? You're not going to be a sovereign of your expenses. You're going to become a slave. You're going to be you're going to become even more of a servant, to the system. Okay? And that's why, the scripture says, never trust thine enemy. And you know what other scripture just come to mind? How his words were like butter. Let's get that right quick. But yet they were drawn swords. All right, so this is the book of Psalm 55 and verse 21. And it reads, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay? So, it sounds good when you read particular buzzwords talking about financial sovereignty and having control over your money and privacy, but it's really the opposite that you're going to have in the long run. Okay, because they're going to take away your perceived liberty that you think you have. All right. Now in the NLT, it says his words are as smooth as butter, but in his heart is war. His words are soothing as lotion, but underneath are daggers. All right. So really, he's coming with war. Really, he's coming with daggers. Okay, because that's what's going to be the end result of falling into the trap of receiving, that MOTB. It's going to be complete control. Okay? It's really, a war to gain control over everyone upon the earth, man. All right? Because again, Esau, Edom, the wicked elites of Esau, Edom, they think of themselves as gods, upon the earth. Like it goes into in Ezekiel, the 28th chapter. Okay? Now let's go back to this this PDF. It says the bill is a jump start for the UK startup community as part of Reform UK's commitment to making the UK the best country in the world to start, scale and run a business. Freed from the shackles of EU regulatory quagmire, or we read that already. So I think there was another part I wanted to read. Let me see. It says, to demonstrate our seriousness, Reform UK is also proud to announce it is, as of today, the first UK political party in history to be able to accept donations in Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as other cryptocurrencies. So they're even accepting donations, okay, in those cryptocurrencies listed. All right, so they're setting the standard for what the future, holds concerning digital money. All right, and then it outlines, all of the proposals that they're making. All right, so we're in that time. All right, we're definitely in that time, man. All right, now let's get right quick. Let's go to the actual Revelation 13 and 16, and we can't bring this out enough. All right, because these are prophecies that are unfolding upon the earth, right now, all right, in real time, all right? So this is Revelation, let's get straight to the point, chapter 13 and verse 16, and it reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, okay? And that mark, when you go into the word mark, it's charagma, all right, which is an incision, a cutting, a carving in the flesh. Okay, so this is going to be something that's going to be inserted, within you. in your hand or in your forehead. Okay? And that time is coming where everyone is going to be subject to make that decision on whether they're going to take that mark or whether they're going to reject it. That time is coming. All right? We are in that time. So again, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor. So it doesn't matter what your position is in society. All right, whether you're loaded, all right, so-called wealthy, rich, or whether you're poor, dirt poor. Okay, they're gonna require you, to take that mark within yourself. All right, and it says, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. So without that mark, all right, you're not going to be able to buy. You're not going to be able to sell. All right. So the whole grid is going to be functioning off of that beast technology. And if you don't have that beast technology to operate in the grid, then you're going to be shunned. Okay. You're not going to be able to operate on the grid that Esau Edom, is set it up on a day-to-day basis. Why do you think he's putting up all of these, the 5 to the G's, so on and so forth? All of these towers. Okay? Then you got the 6 to the G towers. All right? So they're advancing, with this technology for a reason. Everything is happening for a reason. It's not for no reason. Everywhere you go, they're bringing about these 20 mile per hour, restrictions. All right. You can't, you go on this road, it's been blocked off. That road's been blocked off. This road has now become 20 miles per hour. All right. They don't want people to travel. They want all cars, to be autonomous. All right. I saw a clip going into that earlier today. All right. But they want all cars to be autonomous eventually. Okay, so hey, that's what the wicked elites are doing, man. They're really pushing for this new world order system. All right. So that's what I really wanted to get out, concerning this. And again, these are signs of the times, and these are things that we have to keep an eye out for. All right, as Yahweh Shai said, watch ye, as well as pray. Okay, so with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, and until the next time, I'll say shalom.